Origin, mission, and vision. First of all, thanks for asking this. So, the origin story is as it goes. I have been in love with horses since I was born. So, for 37 years now, I've dedicated my life to horses, to understanding them better. And the real irony of it all is that they have been my greatest teachers into making me be a better human being, not only for myself in how I show up for my own life, but also that of my clients, my family, my business, my friendships. I have ridden horses. It was all about the pony club days early on. Pony club, really enjoying being pushed, enjoying that competitive side of pony club games, being part of a team. Little did I know though that at this age I was already had a standard of competitive edge. Now, not to be the best or not to be number one, but bettering yourself every single day. From pony club, I went into wanting to take dress horses a little bit more seriously. So my dad said to me, right, you're going to go into thoroughbred racing and see if you really can ride. At the time, my mum was absolutely furious at my dad, but it was the best thing for me because I really got to experience high quality speed performance, not only as a rider, but working with these athletes who are extremely sensitive and competing, performing at the top level. From racing, I went and got my flat jockey license and was lucky enough to win 2 out of 5 races, the most incredible experiences I've ever had. Talking about an adrenaline rush, I don't think to this day there'll be anything that will beat that feeling. From there, I went to Australia and the same thing, rode track and got to really experience what racing was like on the opposite side of the world. Little did I know there was more to just the story than going to Australia. And that's actually where I came across therapy. I saw these racehorses being and having acupuncture done, and I was blown away by their response. That these quite anxious, very highly strung athletes were pretty much falling asleep with this therapy. And then to feel the improvement in their performance, in their stride, in their ability to shift gears more effortlessly because of the acupuncture. I decided, right, I'm going to get back to the UK, finish my degree and study acupuncture. Again, another roadblock, as in the UK, I didn't know, but you had to be a vet to practice acupuncture. So that dream was stopped. I didn't fancy going into becoming a vet and putting 8 years of my life into vet school. And that's when I came across behavior of horses, and I spent 4 years working with an equine behaviorist, talk about really getting to know what horses can do, how dangerous horses really are. This opened my eyes to the power and strength of these animals, but on the flip side, their kindness, their compassion, and their pure level of honesty. The horses that we dealt with at this yard were horses that were on death's door. So it was either a case of we sort them out, we improve their behavior, their way of going, or they get put to sleep. That's when I saw chiropractic and thought, well, do you know what? If the acupuncture is not the route, I'll try the chiropractic. Went and started my master's down in Oxfordshire and had to leave the job for the relocation and found dressage horses. Now, going from thoroughbreds, quite highly strung, behavioral, to dressage, PRE Lusitanos, I was almost a little bit like, go on, like what are you gonna do? But again, things happen for a reason, and because of the skills that I had learned at the time working with these quote unquote dangerous, unpredictable horses, I was given the ride of this beautiful Lusitano bullfighting horse that had come to the yard that I was now working at because he was a bolter, and he had put people in hospital because of his unpredictability, and when he bolted, blind bolt, it was dangerous. The skills that I'd learned over the years allowed me to take this horse from novice up to pre-St. George level. Blew my mind when it came to what I could actually achieve as an individual rider. someone who had to then work her way up the levels with this unpredictable horse. How I got him from there was one thing: trust. Learn to gain his trust from working with the ground up. And again, little did I know this at the time, but before riding horses, those 6 to 8 horses a day, I prioritized how I showed up, what my breakfast was like. I was doing a morning workout. So before 6 a.m., I had eaten, done a morning workout, and was ready to start my day with horses. At this time, I was doing it for a pure fitness level to be a better rider, but little did I know that level of care to my body was making me show up a better version of myself for these horses, which meant that no matter what the horses threw at me, I could be, and I was, more grounded, more present, clear-minded, focused, and had the strength both in and out of the saddle. This gave me my competitive edge, not only as an athlete. I was more grounded, regulated when it came to competing. I didn't have this nervous, anxious pull over me because I was doing my daily standard of push, putting myself past my comfort zone first thing in the morning, so that whatever I was thrown at during the day, I could take it in my stride. Again, little did I know, but I was training every single day for the unexpected, because I knew deep down that you fall to the level of your preparation. My level of preparation, with or without a horse, was here. It was already a high standard. Now, they say things come in 3, and my things in 3 meant that I had to relocate, lost my job and lost my home, and my boyfriend broke up with me at the time. I had to totally move my business, stop riding professionally, relocate to a new area. In this stressful event, I developed what's adult acne. Now, being in your 30s, having adult acne made me so self-conscious. I felt ashamed, I felt embarrassed, and not to mention my periods that no one knew about were already in so much pain. I'd been diagnosed with PCOS, 3 out of the 4 types, and I'd been managing it for so long. I'm an equestrian. I'm a kind of push through it, don't show weakness rider. But it got to a point with adult acne that I just could not ignore the pain anymore. I could not ignore the amount of blood I was losing every single month. Now, I've got the stubborn side of me, and despite numerous trips to the doctors, only to be told, listen, it's normal, take painkillers every month, and this is like your menstrual cycle, I could not accept that. And now, because of the extra time I had having to relocate and start the business again, I went down the rabbit hole of looking into what all these symptoms that my body was showing me ever since I was 18, now 30, what they meant. And through a lot of trial and error, a lot of attempts, working with numerous coaches, through natural lifestyle practices, I totally removed my painful periods. I went from heavy flow to light flow, to what I would consider now my normal cycle. I learned how to manage my stress, and I packaged this all into what I call the female rider code. 3 pillars: nutrition, movement, and brain gym. Knowing how to regulate yourself, manage stress, because let's face it, stress is going to happen to all of us. We can't escape it. But knowing how to manage it in the moment, especially when it comes to handling and working with horses, another nervous system, gives you and gave me that competitive edge. I noticed not only were my monthly cycles totally different, when it came to treating horses from a chiropractic perspective, I had better treatments. My relationship with horses had improved because I was more focused. I was clear-minded, no brain fog. I wasn't in pain anymore. Someone was suffering with bad wrists, bad back from all the falls I had in the past. All of this was gone. All of this was absolutely gone. No pain. So the horses that I was working with were responding to how I was showing up on the day. My riders would say to me, my horse is really good with you, and then when you go and I've got to deal with my horse, it's like everything's come back. The one variable that we changed in that equation was myself. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm the only one that can do this. I've worked with over 100 riders, female equestrians around the world, taking them from lacking energy, frustrated. These riders are already so self-aware. They know something isn't right. And despite trying absolutely everything, they are left feeling guilty that they haven't got enough time, that they feel like there's a constant to-do list, and worst of all, they feel like they're not showing themselves best, that they're letting their four-legged friend, their horse, down. I've taken them from that, using the female rider code methodology, into riders that show up with energy, with clarity, with strength, and inner confidence that the horse mirrors back. This is the ultimate partnership, and this is what I do today. The female rider code is more than just a concept, it is a movement. It is a vision that I see all equestrians adopting, because when you show up in your best version, physically fit, mentally fit, resilient, grounded, focused, your interaction with your horse, with anyone around you, becomes more fulfilling. You have more connection because you're able to listen better. You're able to communicate clear what you want instead of this constant spiral of self-doubt. Welcome to the Female Rider Code.